I never knew that Vegas had projects or any of these things, right? And so at 16, you dropped out of high school.
Yeah.
How do you go from dropping out of high school at 16 and transcending your circumstances to becoming an Ivy League graduate and the king that I'm sitting in front of right now?
Yeah, like all heroes, you got to go on that journey. A lot are tested. Not everybody makes it to the other side. One of the gifts my mother gave me was the love for books. And about 4 years old, she taught me to read. She used to pull out all these Dr. Seuss books, and we would have speed reading contests to who could like speak Green Eggs and Ham the fastest. And so I had a love for books, and books was one of the ways I escaped from poverty, comic books especially. So by the time I was 16, the streets really began to grab me. And on top of that, some of the depression and anxiety I felt that I had no resources and no outlets for, and my mom being a single parent working at Walmart, she really couldn't take care of me. So from 16 to 18, I really lost myself into street life. And what that looked like is I became really dependent on alcohol. I started to really lose myself in weed. I started to lose myself in the streets and getting in fights. And one by one started seeing a lot of my friends either end up in jail or dead. And I had this aha epiphany moment sitting at the bus stop on the east side of Las Vegas in front of this hotel called Sam's Town, where something inside me told me if I didn't change, I was gonna die. And I remember looking to my left, and there was a guy who looked like me, but he had like no life in his eyes. He looked just like me, but he was like strung out on some drugs. And at that time, I had never left Las Vegas. So I always speak about the mountains around Las Vegas as like a prison. If you've never left Vegas, it becomes like this prison, and these neon lights of the hotel, they just like tease you of what's possible, but you can never actually get it. It's like the unobtainable. Wow. And I think that contrast is what forces so many people to like lose themselves in devices, because when you're broke and you're poor and you're looking at billions of dollars all the time lit up on the horizon, you're like, is it me? And so it's really easy to get caught up out there. It was that day at that bus stop I made a decision that I was just going to try to do whatever I could to get out. And it took me back to 4 years old and my love for books. And something inside me told me that if I became a voracious consumer of knowledge and wisdom, I could escape my circumstances. And that's really what happened. Is it took 10 years for me to actually break out of the poverty that held me in Vegas. 10 years of focus, 10 years of grinding, 10 years of like going after it. And that was just to get to like baseline. I was so deep beneath the ground when it came to like behind in academics, behind financially, behind educationally, that it took me 10 years just to get to baseline. If I was told at that bus stop that it was going to be as hard as it was, I might not have gone on that journey. Wow. If I was told that it was going to be as heartbreaking as it was, I might not have gone on that journey. But looking back now, I'm so happy that I did. I look at that kid who was 18 years old, and I just give him so much love and props for like having the fortitude to like choose something different. And at that time, the only thing that I could choose was my heart. And so really, it's been 20 years since that happened, and it's been a journey of continuously coming back to my heart and just listening to what it wants and trusting that it knows the path regardless of the circumstances.